Coming up next, it's 4 hours of music, comedy, and surprises on Lunchbox.
Curious George wins a race. George, said the man with the yellow hat, the children are racing their cars today. Let's go and see them. They got in their little car and drove to town. At the race ground, the children were getting their cars ready. I see a friend over there, George, said the man. I'll meet you here later. George looked around. His friend Jane was busy fixing the back of her car. She looked worried. I don't have the right size tires, she said. If I can't find some, I can't race. George watched her for a while and then walked on. Down the street, he stopped at a display of tires in a gas station. The attendant pulled out a tire and rolled it over to a car on the left. Could George do that too? He was curious. 2 tires were sticking out from a pile. He grabbed one of the tires. Suddenly, the whole pile fell down. Tires rolled everywhere. Cars had to stop. And people had to run for their lives. What's going on? Shouted the attendant. Get those tires out of the way, yelled the man. It's a disaster. Who did this? It's that monkey that caused all the trouble, somebody shouted. Catch him, cried the attendant. George was scared. It was time to get away. The attendant ran after him, but George ran faster. Down the street was a trash basket. Now he was safe. Meanwhile, Jane was still working on her car. It's no use, she cried. The race starts in a few minutes. I might as well give up. Just then, 2 tires rolled up. Jane jumped up and stopped them. They're ready. They're the perfect size, she shouted. The coast was clear. George ran over to Jane. You're just in time, she said. Help me put on the tires. Let's hurry. When the job was done, they pushed the car to the starting line. The cars were ready to go. And just when the starter raised his flag, the attendant from the gas station came running over. There's that monkey, he shouted. Stop him. But the starter dropped his flag, and the race began. George and Jane drove down the hill. The attendant was running after them, but Jane's car was too fast. Soon, it was passing all the others. Jane and George raced through and won. After the race, the mayor gave Jane a silver cup. Thank you, said Jane, but I couldn't have done it without George. Just as she turned to George, someone tried to grab him. It was the attendant from the gas station. "You won't get away this time," he shouted. "Those are my tires. I want them back." "They must be good tires," said the bear who had been watching. "From now on, I'm going to buy my tires from you." "You are?" asked the attendant. "That will be great for business." Then he turned to George. "You shouldn't have pulled out those tires," he said. "But never mind. Thanks to you, I will sell a lot of them." "Now, George," said the man with the yellow hat, "it's time for us to get into our little car." And that's what they did.
One morning, Paddington was pottering about in the garden when he happened to glance through a knothole in Mr. Curry's fence. As he did so, he nearly fell over backwards with surprise at the sight which met his gaze. He'd never seen anything quite like it before. It seemed to be a cross between a very large hairnet, which had been hung out to dry, and some extra large knitting, which had gone wrong. It was all very strange, and he was about to go indoors and tell Mrs. Bird all about it when he had his second shock of the morning. "Bear, what are you doing, Bear? Are you spying on me?" "Oh, no, Mr. Curry," gasped Paddington. "I wouldn't do that. I was only trying to see what was going on." Haven't you ever come across a hammock before, Bear? Sailors used to sleep in them at one time. Nowadays, people have them in their gardens. I don't think I've ever seen a bed with holes in before, Mr. Curry. Is it safe? Safe? Why, of course it's safe. Oh, I didn't mean it wasn't a good one, Mr. Curry. It looked rather old. I mean, have you had it a long time? Well, for some reason, Mr. Curry seemed anxious to change the subject. How much do you weigh, Bear? Paddington considered the matter for a moment. It depends on how many marmalade sandwiches I've eaten, Mr. Curry. Mrs. Bird says I must weigh quite a lot sometimes. Look, Bear, I'm going upstairs for a book. I shall only be gone 5 minutes, but while I'm away, you can test my hammock for me, just to make sure it's safe and comfortable. If you do it properly, I may let you have a go later on, after I've finished with it for the day. Thank you, Mr. Curry. I shall look forward to that. If Paddington had never seen a hammock before, he had even less idea how to get into one. And he soon began to wish Mr. Curry had left him a book of instructions. What are you doing, Bear? Get down off there at once. Oh, dear. Hello, Mr. Curry. Bear! What have you done to my hammock? Come back, Bear! But Paddington had already disappeared. He'd had quite enough of hammocks for one day. "Here's hammock," snorted Mrs. Bird when Paddington told the others about his adventures with Mr. Curry. "Don't shake it. I put that hammock out for the dustmen only yesterday. It's been up in the loft for years. It's gone all rotten. Mr. Curry must have taken it before the dustman arrived. He ought to think himself lucky he didn't go through it. Perhaps, said Paddington hopefully, I could sew some holes together and make you a new one. There's no need. Daddy's bought a new one. Look, it's got a special stand, so it'll be much easier to get into and much safer when you're in. If you like Paddington, you can be the very first to test it. No, thank you, Mr. Brown, said Paddington politely. After you. In fact, after everyone.
Why mosquitoes buzz in people's ears? Now, it was Mother Owl who woke the sun each day so that the dawn could come. One morning, a mosquito saw an iguana drinking at a water hole. Iguana, you will never believe what I saw yesterday. Try me, said the iguana. The mosquito said, I saw a farmer digging yams that were almost as big as I am. What's a mosquito compared to a yam? Snapped the iguana. I would rather be deaf than listen to such nonsense. Then he stuck 2 sticks in his ears and went off through the reeds. The iguana was still grumbling to himself when he happened to pass by a python. Good morning, iguana. The iguana did not answer, but lumbered on. Bada-min, bada-min. Now, why won't he speak to me, said the python to himself. I'm afraid he's plotting some mischief against me. He began looking for somewhere to hide. The first likely place he found was a rabbit hole, and in it he went, wussle, 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 wussle. When the rabbit saw the big snake coming into her burrow, she was terrified. She scurried out through her back way and bounded click, 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 across a clearing. A crow saw the rabbit running for her life. It was his duty to spread the alarm in case of danger. A monkey heard the crow. He was sure that some dangerous beast was prowling near. As the monkey was crashing through the treetops, he happened to land on a dead limb. It broke and fell on an owl's nest, killing one of the owlets. When Mother Owl returned to the nest, she found one of them dead. Her other children told her that the monkey had killed it. All that night, she sat in her tree, so sad, so sad, so sad. When she should have hooted for the sun, she did not do it. The night grew longer and longer. The animals of the forest knew it was lasting much too long. They feared that the sun would never come back. At last, King Lion called a meeting of the animals. They came and sat down around a council fire. King Lion asked, Mother Owl, why have you not called the sun? The night has lasted long, 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 and everyone is worried. Mother Owl said, Monkey killed one of my owlets. Because of that, I cannot bear to wake the sun. So, was the monkey who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Then King Lion called the monkey. Monkey, said the king, why did you kill one of Mother Owl's babies? Oh, king, said the monkey, it was the crow's fault. He was calling and calling to warn us of danger. And I went leaping through the trees to help. A limb broke under me, and it fell tar on the owl's nest. The king said to the council, so it was the crow who alarmed the monkey, who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Then the king called for the crow. He said, King Lion, it was the rabbit's fault. I saw her running for her life in the daytime. Wasn't that reason enough to spread an alarm? The king nodded his head and said to the council, so it was the rabbit who startled the crow, who alarmed the monkey, who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Rabbit, cried the king, why did you break a law of nature and go running in the daytime? Oh, king, said the rabbit, it was the python's fault. I was in my house minding my own business when that big snake came in and chased me out. The king said to the council, so it was the python who scared the rabbit, who startled the crow, who alarmed the monkey, who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. King called the python, who came slithering wasso-wusso, past the other animals. But king, he cried, it was the iguana's fault. He wouldn't speak to me, and I thought he was plotting some mischief against me. When I crawled into the rabbit's hole, I was only trying to hide. The king said to the council, so it was the iguana who frightened the python, who scared the rabbit, who startled the crow, who alarmed the monkey, who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Now the iguana was not at the meeting, for he had not heard the summons. The antelope was sent to fetch him. All the animals laughed when they saw the iguana coming, butterman, with his sticks still stuck in his ears. King Lion pulled out the sticks. Burup. Iguana, what evil have you been plotting against the python? None at all, cried the iguana. Python is my friend. Then why wouldn't you say good morning to me? Demanded the snake. I didn't hear you. Mosquitoes told me such a big lie. I couldn't bear to listen to it, so I put sticks in my ears. Laughed the lion. So that's why you had sticks in your ears? Yes, said the iguana. It was the mosquito's fault. King Lion said to the council, so it was the mosquito who annoyed the iguana, who frightened the python, who scared the rabbit, who startled the crow, who alarmed the monkey, who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Punish the mosquito, cried all the animals. When Mother Owl heard that, she was satisfied. She turned her head toward the east and hooted. Meanwhile, the mosquito had listened to it all from a nearby bush. She crept under a curly leaf and was never found and brought before the council. But because the mosquito has a guilty conscience, to this day, she goes about whining in people's ears. Everybody wants to migrate me. When she does that, she gets an honest answer. Kapow!
too small to be an apple, thinks Rupert, as he goes to see. A hazelnut from an apple tree, thinks Rupert. How very odd. But it's given me an idea. I'll go and find some more in Nutwood. In Nutwood, though, the hazel trees are bare. This can't be so, Rupert sighs. Where on earth did all the hazelnuts go? Just then, Bill Badger arrives and says he has some sandwiches to share. Oh, good, says Rupert. I'm hungry and I can't find a hazelnut anywhere. But when the chums go to see where Bill has left his sandwiches, they're gone. Who could have taken them, says Bill. I haven't been long. Whoever took them, says Rupert, must still be quite near. So the chums search, but where the culprit's gone, they've no idea. Let's ask that squirrel, suggests Rupert. He may give us a clue. But the squirrel can't help. Someone's taken his hazelnuts too. It's then that the friends see an old lady. Can you help me? She asks. I've lost my pet monkey. Of course we'll help you, says Rupert, as on their way they go. Thank you, says the old lady. My monkey's name is Beppo. That's it, cries Rupert. Bill, don't you see? Your sandwiches and the squirrel's hazelnuts were taken by the monkey. And they dropped the hazelnut from our apple tree, says the little bear, as Edward Trump comes along and asks if they're going to the fair. We can't, says Rupert. We're looking for Beppo the monkey. He could be at the fair, says Edward. Why not come and see? So all three chums go to the fair, but they can't find Beppo the monkey anywhere. And as they're about to leave, Rupert sees the coconut shine. I've an idea, he tells Bill and Edward. I must have a try. Rupert takes careful aim and knocks a coconut off with his first go. It's for the squirrel, he says, to replace the nuts taken by Beppo. Leaving Edward at the fair, Rupert and Bill run back to Nutwood. Rupert calls to the squirrel. We've a coconut for you. It tastes very good. But as the squirrel comes to feed, something frightens him away. Cries Bill. It's the monkey we've been looking for all day. They give chase and search high and low, but nowhere can they find the naughty Beppo. And as the sun is setting, they see their friend, Bingo the pup. Why are you both looking so worried? He asks. Tell me what's up. We're looking for Beppo the monkey. Can you help us? Ask the chums. Sorry, but I'm late for a firework display, says Bingo, as off he runs. Oh dear, sighs Rupert. Where can that monkey be? We've got to find him soon. It's getting too dark to see. Suddenly, there's a bang and a flash of bright light as Bingo's firework display lights up the dark night. Another firework makes a whizzing noise and a loud bang in the air. Something drops onto Rupert. It's Beppo, he cries. That one gave him a scare. Well, Bingo helped us after all, Bill says with a smile. And they hurry to the old lady's home, which takes them some while. The dear old lady's filled with delight. She thanks the chums for bringing Beppo back and wishes them good night. And so home to bed the tired chums go, where Rupert tells of their adventures searching for Beppo. The following morning, as Rupert and Bill run errands for their mums, they see the old lady shopping, and she calls to the chums. Here, she says, some hazelnuts for bringing Beppo back safe to me. Thank you very much, cry the chums, as pleased as can be. Let's find the squirrel, Rupert says, as off to the woods they go. We'll give him these hazelnuts, as his were taken by Beppo. And in Nutwood, they call the squirrel who comes happily, because he knows these hazelnuts won't be taken by a monkey.
One morning, Will was dreaming of a large bowl of snails, and coming towards him, a big as smelly also. Will's tongue stuck to the roof of his mouth in fear. Snake came nearer and nearer with its mouth open until a cold sweat broke out on Will's brow. It stretched its horns around Will's neck and shouted, well, eating snails, is it? I won't eat snails again, I promise. Eating snails? What's the matter, little Will? He knew that voice, the voice of Martha, his mother. Dreaming again, my boy? Oh, yes, ma'am. And he gave her a big kiss. She blushed. Oh, Toots, go on with you. Your breakfast is ready and your friends are waiting for you. In a jiffy, Will was out of bed and changing his clothes and half flying, half running downstairs to the kitchen. Hey, little quack, eat your breakfast. Will swallowed his wasp porridge and hurried out. Thanks, ma'am. Morning, Dad. Morning, Dad. Here? What? Right, son must have done this. Oh, you wait your naughty little quack. When Will glanced back through the window and saw his father all covered with pepper, he decided it was time to disappear quickly. Hello, lads. Follow me to the woods. When they'd gone far enough, Dick Penmore said, Stop, Will. Hey, Pet. And Hugh Herrick said, Hey, Will, what was that strange noise from your house? Oh, that was Dad sneezing because I knocked the pepper pots all over him. Oh, gobble, gobble, Will, laughed Eva. Pepper! Oh, Will, you'll get to hiding and go to bed without supper. What, do you think so? Yes, of course, said Shawty, who winked at Eva. Indubitably, gobble, gobble, said Eva. Wow! What's that terrible sound? Well, what sound? A sound like sneezing, gobble, gobble, coming nearer and nearer. Great snails, it's my dad. Hide me. Hurry, let's jump on him, shouted Shawty. And in a twinkling, they all leapt on Will and sat on him until he was out of sight. And then they all heard a real as Shawty's tail tickled Will's nose. When Will saw the others laughing, he realized that they tricked him again, and he began to laugh too. Oh dear, the laughter didn't last long, because when Will sneezed, he'd thrown Shawty against a nest of bees, who came out angrily and made a beeline for Will and the others. They all howled as they fled down the path with the bees after them. Then they ran into the yard and dived into Martha's washtub full of soapy water. When Martha saw the commotion, she had to shut the door quickly, and all she and Martha could do was to look through the window. At last the bees grew tired and flew back to the woods, and then Martha and Hoofra came out to the yard. But there was such a miserable look on the 5 boys that Hoofra simply couldn't give Will a ride. But they all had to stand under the pump and be washed clean. Then Martha gave them a dose of lamp oil, soot and black ink. When Will went to bed that night, he swore that he'd look carefully next time before slamming the door. Oh, wow.
Curious George. Wine scares pleasant people's ears. A West Downwood release. West Downwood Studios. Rupert. Handmade Express newspapers. 1989. Will Quack Quack. Mike Young. S4C. 1989. 1982. S4C. festa.